Hello there, and I hope you are all doing well. Um, is it possible to have a good death? Can a death be good? Is there good deaths? Or deaths bad deaths? So, in hospice care, oftentimes we'll talk about good death, bad death, and what does that mean? It is indeed possible to have a good death, excuse me, and it's also possible to have a bad death. From a spiritual care perspective, the goal of a spiritual care provider is to help calm down a person that is dying of terminal illness so that they can have a peaceful death. When a death is not peaceful as we hope, then we term it as a bad death. I have witnessed both good deaths and bad deaths. There was one man long time ago um, that I happened to care for as a spiritual care provider, and he believed that his suffering was meant to pay for the sins that he had committed in his life. Based on his beliefs, he believed that he needed to suffer to pay for his sins. And so this man would not accept any pain medication. He would not accept anything to ease his pain because he wanted to suffer. It was miserable. He wanted all of our support. He wanted a chaplain, but he didn't want to hear anything I had to offer for help or any of the rest of the team. So all we did was to go and sit with him in his misery until he died. And it was difficult because when you sit around somebody who is in severe pain, it does affect you. But we had to do that until he died because the thing with hospice care is that we don't force our way, we don't force our beliefs. We respect what the person and their family want from us. So our job is to walk alongside the journey. So we all had to suffer with this man until he died. And that I would term it as a bad death. He died a very painful death, especially towards the end. It was just difficult to sit there and witness. I have also witnessed good deaths whereby many good deaths. Uh, Thankfully, the horrible deaths are few that I have witnessed compared to many peaceful good deaths. Thank you for joining. Yes, please let me know where you are watching from. If you are out there, let me know where you are watching from. Also, if you have any experiences that you'd like to share, we would appreciate that. And you can share this video. Then there's good deaths. So one of the patients that I also supported was afraid to die. And she was not afraid to die because she was afraid for herself, but she was struggling with her family. Her family was constantly telling her, Mom, you cannot die. We need you. We need you here. You cannot die. She was terminal. There was nothing else the doctors could do. And while she was getting pain medication and everything to help her stay comfortable, every time she woke up, she would be in tears and she would be crying Why? She was in emotional help. See, in emotional pain. See, emotional pain cannot be cured by pain medication. It cannot be taken care of by anxiety medication. Emotional and spiritual pain can only be taken care of emotionally and spiritually. So, in the process of working with this amazing woman, she was born again, she loved Jesus, she talked about heaven, and she was not afraid to die as far as she was concerned. But she was struggling with her children, and she was feeling like her death would be a letdown to her family. So she was fighting, but she was really suffering. And so my job was to talk with her adult children and help them understand where the mother was coming from. That no matter how much their mom fights, eventually she's gonna die. And whether God gives her a miracle, eventually one day she's gonna die. So whatever the situation is resolving to are you seeing what your mom is going through? How do you feel about it? And as we processed what their mother was dealing with, the suffering, the pain that she was enduring, they came to terms with their expectation of their mother being unreasonable. So I talked with them and I sat with them around the bed as they actually gave their mother permission to die. And this is her adult children. They all talked to their mother and gave her permission and they said, Mom, you have raised us, you have taken care of us, you have trained us for life, and it's okay. If your time is now, you can go to Jesus. We will be fine. And they talked with her, and the mom was full of tears of relief. But cut long story short, she had a few days left when they did this, and it was so beautiful to see the remaining of those days. How beautiful it was as her children came each day. She was living in a facility, and so her children would come and stay with her. And towards the end, they just stayed with her and they prayed together. I was with them some of the time, and a lot of the time of those last days. I was with them, prayed with them. They were all peaceful. They were holding the mom's hands. And from that time on, you could see relief in their mom. She was very relieved as her children promised her that they would be fine. See, telling your loved one that they can't die, to keep fighting, is not showing love. That's we can think, and especially our community in Kenya. I come from Kenya, and in Kenya, death is not handled well. People think that when they are telling somebody, you're not gonna die, don't talk to us about death, you will live, you have to fight, we need you, we want you here. People in Kenya, that's the mindset in Kenya of showing their loved one that they love them. And what ends up happening is that many people in Kenya who have terminal illness die with no peace in their heart because of the things their families are saying to them. And the family is also left with no peace in their heart. So, as a spiritual care provider, what I encourage people is think about it. One day, each one of us will die. That's one. And we can't even argue with that because that cannot be changed. However, death is not the end. There's life after death. And life after death, especially for believers, it is beautiful with Christ. There's life after death. It's not the end. So, coming to terms with what the Bible says about death and life after death, I have seen it help many people come to terms with death. And other people have found their ways of coping. Even those that are not Christians, um, I've seen many accept that death is normal, it's natural, and take what they can to fight the end of their journey here on earth. So today I just wanted to encourage you to think about it. There's good deaths and there's bad deaths. So as you care for your loved one, we can always ask ourselves, what kind of a death would we want our loved one to have? Because at the end of the day, we can't fight with death. So we get to choose. How do we want to die? How do we want to see our loved ones die? And we can be the difference. We can be the difference. It takes growth, it takes boldness, it takes having very uncomfortable conversations, but good deaths can be achieved. And that's what I advocate for as a hospice worker, is for as many people as possible to have a good death at the end of life. Since we can't fight it, we face it, and we face it with courage. May God help us.